right, folk. Here we are again. It's 3 o'clock. I'm starting on time. We're just waiting for folks to get in. We are waiting for folks to arrive. Hey, folks, how is everybody doing? Who am I? Terrell. I am the curator for Central District Forum for Arts and Ideas. Welcome to Physical Distancing, Intimate Conversations with Danny Terrell. There she is.
Not the Dan.
Yes.
Over here.
Yes, I'm just doing the intro, waiting for folks to get in and be all collected and stuff and all that other stuff. So, if you've never been to a conversation before, welcome. If this is your first time, if you've been here before, I hope you come back again. What these conversations are, sorry everybody, I'm trying to type in Vania's information. At least type in her website.
Thank you,
if I can get
Portia.
it right.
Something new in COVID.
Yes. I'm trying to learn to pin these comments, and I just don't know how to do it. Okay,
Work
anyway.
in progress.
I'm going to learn that one day. Hi, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. We are about to start this conversation. Again, I'm Danny Terrell. I'm curator for Central District Forum for Arts and Ideas. This is Physical Distancing, Intimate Conversations. A reason these conversations started is because we are all hit with hold the comment down. I tried. I don't know. Me logging on is like step one. I'm gonna do this. Dang, I know Vania looks great, but I mean, people, I'm trying to look my best too. It's been a rough day. It's raining. No, Vania, you look great.
Yes.
We started these conversations because we just felt that it was important to hear from particularly Black folks during this time, Black artists, because within the art world, we know everybody is hit and everybody is affected by this. And as we have seen this week, we know Black folks are being hit harder when life goes sideways for everybody. Black folks are getting hit harder. So this is one of the reasons we started this conversation. It is a way to financially help support artists. So I've tagged Vania's website. I ain't gonna even try that again. You know what? I'm just not gonna even try. But we will also talk to Vania about ways that you can support her work and ways that you can support things that she's doing. I wanted to start off. I have all these little cards that I just got, and I love these cards. This one is called Confidence. Mm-hmm. And then the next one will be for Vania. It's called Know Yourself. So the first one is just a reflection. And then the second one is going to be like a question for you. I'm going to read your bio after I read the first one. So this one is about confidence. And what it says is, and then this is just for y'all to sit and think about it. Like, the way to greater confidence is not to reassure ourselves of our own dignity. It is to become at peace with the inevitable nature of our ridiculousness. We are idiots now. We have been idiots in the past, and we will be idiots again in the future. And that is okay. There are no other available options for human beings. That's a little heavy. I know folks are like, I'm not an idiot, I'm smart. But if you really think about jumping into the deepness of what that is, again, we're looking at the world today. We're looking at what happened this week. We're looking at responses from people. So we have to sit into the fact that I believe we are not right. And once we fit into that fact that we are not right, then we can get right. But everybody trying to be right, so we'll never get actually right. So anyway, I just wanted to read that card. I thought it was like interesting card from this day and time and what's going on. But on to our special guest, Vanya.
Hey, Danny.
Vanya, hey. Vanya is currently teaching every Saturday over Zoom. Join her Facebook group, We Dance with Grace, to stay up to date. Vanya C. Bynum is a former computer engineer and graduate of Cornish College of the Arts. She has taught and choreographed throughout the greater Seattle area for almost 20 years, utilizing dance as her form of worship. Vanya directed the adult liturgical dance ministry at New Beginnings Christian Fellowship for 11 years. How are you doing today? Okay, let me prep my question. How are you doing in the sense of like how Black folks are doing? Not like how you doing in your like professional is smooth. We know professional is cold, but how are you doing?
My heart is heavy,
Mm-hmm.
and it has been just the whole week. Honestly, the week kind of it derailed me in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, we've been experiencing this forever.
Right.
And of course, we're tired of it. But this time, it just derailed me even more than before.
Right.
And that could be that I'm a mother now, right? And I have a son, right? And
And a
then there,
daughter, because it's
yeah,
not even gender anymore. It's like your daughter, child,
it
and
is.
everything in
Yes.
between.
Yeah, that's right. It's this.
Yes.
It's
Period.
this, right? And so, yeah, I'm not one. I don't usually speak out hugely, but I put some clips out on how I'm feeling expressed through movement,
Right.
and it's just heavy. It really. I'm angry. I'm tired, emotionally exhausted. And on top of everything else, it's just a lot for everybody. I've had conversations with friends, Black and non-Black, right? And also I attended Michelle Lang's Facebook conversation, which was really insightful, and really brought to light that the responsibility is held not just with us, and that people have to realize it more and more, that they have to take responsibility too. So that's how I'm doing. I feel blessed, but my heart is heavy. And every time I get at that computer and look at the news, that weight.
Right. I think it's something important to your last statement about the responsibility. What I think folks in the world don't understand that Black folks, and you and I talked about this earlier today, Black folks, we actually didn't create these systems. Like that is, we didn't create the systems of oppression. We did not create drugs coming into the community. We did not create the torture that has happened to Black folks throughout this world for centuries. We actually didn't create it. But the burden of responsibility always falls on our shoulder to do something better.
Yep.
And
to help people and tell them what to do.
Yes. And no matter if we are garbage folks, to male folks, to doctors, to lawyers, to dancers, to teachers, we can never get it right because we never created these systems. So I just want to sit with that last statement of just the burden of responsibility. Yes, we do have responsibility as Black folks.
Yes.
But we actually have less responsibility than most people think because we are working our butts off to make change in this world. So anyway, okay. We about to get started. I'm trying not to, Vanya. I'm trying to stay focused.
It's been challenging.
Yes, it is. It is. Yes. And you are at home, you are a mom. That is part of your identity. That is not your full identity. You are a wife. That is part of your identity. That is not your full identity. You are an artist. You are someone who has a very strong relationship with God and spirit. Um,
Yes.
you are someone who utilizes dance as a way to get closer to who you are, get closer to God. Can you take us on your journey through dance, how you got to dance?
You know, dance is a healer in so many ways. And when I was younger, I had a small experience in dance. And because I was good at math and science,
Mhm.
a Black female, you know, from down south, you need to do something that's responsible. You need to be able to support yourself, et cetera, et cetera. So
Right.
I went into engineering, science and engineering. And when I was probably in my late 20s, I saw Alvin Ailey
Mm.
up here in Seattle for the first time. And just, it changed my life. It changed my life totally. And I had to find a way to express myself. That little seed, size of a mustard seed, right?
Right.
That little seed was there. And I know that it is meant for me to be in the arts.
Yes. Yeah.
And on that road, things that I had forgotten was when I was at Xavier in engineering, I auditioned for the dance team. When I was at Auburn in engineering, I took a dance class. I had
Mm.
forgotten, believe it or not, all of that. And
Right.
it came back. And the way I got back into dance was through Pilates because I was hit by a truck,
Mm.
actually, walking across the street. And when I came up to Seattle, I was still injured. So I
Okay.
met Edna DeGray.
And
And yes, and I worked with her in Pilates and started dancing, believe it or not, with the kids.
yeah.
And I started on the back row to this is what I have to do with my life.
Mm.
And one of the life-changing experiences for me was when Edna asked me to um, do a liturgical dance for her show.
Mm.
And we were exploring Negro spirituals. And that propelled me into liturgical dance in a way that I would have never dreamed,
Right.
never dreamed. Yeah. And I went to Cornish to get my degree, but still holding to that and going on to choreograph for New Beginnings and to just create so much spiritual work.
Let's go back because you skipped something real important.
What I
You were
skip?
working for Microsoft. So let and the reason for me that is important is because in the eye of the world, you had it made. Working for this great
Yes,
company,
I hear
doing
you.
this doing this thing that we're supposed to achieve, and you said that was great, but I was called, I was asked, I'm supposed to do something else. And what we forget as adults is that where we begin is not where we end.
Yes.
And the beautiful thing about your story is that you made a choice with the support of your family, and it was you and your husband at the time. Um, you made a choice to say, "This is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. This is what I've been missing," and you have been pursuing it, and working. What was that like to leave this ideal job, quotations all around, ideal job, to follow your passion as someone who is supposed to like leave those dreams behind?
Yeah.
You said no.
It it was it took me now, so you know, it took me 3 times. I
Mhm.
applied for, well, actually I didn't apply. I got the applications to UW
Mhm.
2 years in a row. And I stayed with what was safe. Of course, I have family in my ear. Don't leave your job.
Right.
You got a
Right.
good job, things
Right.
like that. And then I went to get an application for Cornish. So 3 years went by that I was intending to go. And at that time, I was doing community performances with a little studio on the east side, with Iwajo, dancing with the kids, enjoying it, loving it, and being fulfilled in ways that I was not being fulfilled in my job. And I did love computer engineering. I enjoyed it, but I felt like I wasn't making an impact on people in the way that my heart desired. And I looked at how dance could change your situation, how it can change your emotions, how it can change your perspective. And I wanted to bring that to others. And I didn't know that I had that power. It took a while for me to realize. It took others really appreciating what I was bringing to come out and say, this is a life journey for me. Because I would dance and I would go into the classes and do things, and people would just assume that I had training and ask me to do things. And I'd say, well, what is that? What is a pirouette? What are you talking about? And I got to the point where at Microsoft, I was closing my shades and rehearsing during work hours. I can say that now, right? During work hours, it's my passion. Or I am tired in my ballet class because I've been working all night.
Right.
And that was a deal breaker, So
yeah.
I just I finally decided that it was time, and I felt like I could go back, but if I didn't give myself that opportunity to try, then I would never forgive myself. And when I left Microsoft, I bought a card for myself, and this was before Facebook and all that was big, and it said free to dance. Because that's what I felt. I was free to dance, free to develop, free to be me, free to affect the world in a different way.
Right. If anything, stepping into your first class at Cornish and knowing that it's like I've made a decision to move in a different direction in my life, a direction that's calling to me in a way that nothing else has. What was your biggest fear once you stepped into that first class?
My biggest fear was, honestly, sometimes you feel like you're perpetrating, right? Yes. That was big. That was big on my shoulders. And I had spent almost a year just preparing for the audition, right? So that I could know what it means to do that ballet bar, so that I could know the terminology. So I worked hard. And when I went to the audition, I got such great feedback at the bar. And then after we got to the center, there were some eyebrows, but there was some good feedback in terms of where I knew I could go and where they saw I can grow.
Right.
So once I got there, my biggest fear was not knowing what I was doing. But I knew that you always have to, what you talk about being an idiot? All it is not knowing.
Yes.
Don't tip, right? We always say, oh, you don't call me no idiot. Do you know it? No. Okay, can you learn it? Yes. Right? As you have it within your power to learn it and change that perspective, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny to like listen to you and listen to other folks, especially in dance, and the work that dancers we have to do. That I don't think most people, Black dancers, let me be very clear about what I'm saying. The work that Black dancers have to do in order to be even invited into the space sometimes. And if you are a Black woman identified, female identified dancer, you have to do twice as much work as a male body dancer that is Black. 3 times as okay. 4 times, 100% more work. Let's just call it. Okay, let's just call it what it is. Like it is just work that you have to do to even get that much. And so I'm still always impressed at the fact that like you were just like, this is not what I want to do. This is what I want to do, and you pursued it. And how what what gave you the strength, the ability to say like, I'm pursuing this. That other part of that fear is like you had no fear. You were just like, I'm just gonna do it because this is what gave you that. Where did you pull from for that?
The first thing I'm going to tell you is everybody has fear,
Oh yes.
right? It's there. Oprah has fear. Um, but you have to feel the fear and you have to do it. And for me, I honestly believe that I'm an artist. I'm an artist first. God gave me or empowered me with a gift of music,
Mm,
dance, and spoken word that was hidden for a while. When I was younger, right, I was a
mm-hmm.
musician, competitive, medal carrying, right? You
Right.
know, and I spoke at the libraries during Black History Month,
Right.
right? I dabbled in poetry, but I spoke others' words. And that was because of practicalities, that was actually it was hidden. And
Right.
so when it came out, the magnitude of what I was feeling was so great. That's why sometimes I say dance chose me. That was a dirty trick. God pull, I was up in there making some money, et cetera, et cetera. But it
Right.
was in my heart to do. And
Right.
so I had to do it. And also the emotion and the expression and the feeling I get when I dance is really amazing. I feel it's the ultimate form of communication.
Right. Mm.
And the other thing that propelled me was actually being a little ticked off about going to classes
Mm-hmm.
and being looked over or looked down at, right? If I'm in your ballet class, why are you walking toward me looking sideways instead of giving me a correction,
Right.
right? I'm just as serious as the other person right there at the bar. And so I really found some of my strength by traveling away. I went to
Mm.
workshops in St. Louis, Catherine Dunham workshops.
Yeah.
I went to Cleo Parker Robinson workshops. I went to Black Dallas Dance Theater. I went to New York, visited the Ailey School, Go to Steps on Broadway, and I saw beautiful brown dancers. I saw beautiful dancers of all colors, of all ages, dancing and being taken seriously. And so when I came back, every time I would go, I would come back stronger, knowing that I have to demand what I need. So
Yeah.
I'm here and I want to dance and I want to do it at a professional level.
Right.
And I'm paying you to teach me.
Right. Yes.
And so
This
those are the
conversation.
things that propel me to just push through. And then, of course, the support of my husband.
Right.
Yeah, because
What's
you
up,
can't do something
Brandon?
like that by yourself. Yes, Brandon.
Wherever you at, Brandon? What's up?
Walking around, he's walking around.
um, this was supposed to go in another direction, but I think like even during this time, it's important to sit with the fact that pursuing your dream, pursuing your life passion is so important. Um, and even in this midst of Monday, black bodies being killed over and over again, and I think it's something important with the message of what do we do when we're called to do something else? Because I believe like what we start off doing is not necessarily what we will do in the end. I think we will
Mm-hmm.
always sit there and stay there. And again, what I'm so like, what inspires me listening to you is always that you just defied what the world expected of you. we talk about like we are both in our 40s. I'm not gonna say what
Uh-oh.
side of 40s we at.
Uh-oh.
Look,
Uh-oh. You got me wrong, but we ain't gonna talk about it. I'm a little bit past, but
oh, I was getting see. I was just gonna say it. I'm 40, and I was gonna leave it
look,
alone.
hey, no shame. You know what? If you take care of your body, you can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
You can do anything.
Right,
Look, why is a 70-year-old lifting weights? Why look
right,
up in the ballet class at 6 o'clock? You know.
right, right. And the reason I bring up age is because at a certain time in your dance career, you're supposed to leave that alone. You're not supposed to be dancing at a certain point. You are supposed to stop at a certain age, and that is no longer a dream. You're supposed to sit down and teach and not perform and do all of these other things. And again, you say no to that consistently. You are a mother of two children, and you're like, okay, children, they getting it together, we working it out. I'm about to go do my thing again because I still have something left in me. How are you making that work?
Gosh, when the children were younger,
Uh huh.
a wonderful woman named Yvonne Samuels was with us. We went to those dance ministry rehearsals with her carrying BJ, and
Uh
I
huh.
got my CDs and my boom box, and Aaliyah, I'm holding her hand, or Aaliyah's climbing up the stairs at the church while we're setting
Right.
the piece, and Yvonne is holding BJ. It's called a village. It's called a village.
Mm.
You just can't
Yeah.
really do it by yourself. And I was so
Right.
blessed to have that,
Right.
and I've gone to church with my mom in the car with me. We're going so we can see the dance ministry. I can do
Hmm.
whatever it is that I need to do. Um,
Right.
you can't do it alone. Brandon with the camcorder coming in
Mm.
to help to help
Right.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't do it alone. But I want to address what you're talking about in terms of defying.
Hmm.
My time with the dance ministry, leading the dance ministry. I'm still there now. I'm not the
Hmm.
leader of the dance ministry now, but the ladies in the dance ministry, most of them, some were younger than me, but a lot of them were older than
Right.
me, not super old, but they had a dream. Some of them had a dream deferred in terms of dance. Some
Mm.
of them wanted to move. Some of them loved ballet, but didn't go and take classes because they didn't feel that that was a space for them.
Right.
Sometimes I didn't feel it, but I pushed through. But there are people out there who want to do and who can. Because if I can go to Cornish in my 30s and get a dance degree,
Say that.
if I can train up all ages in the dance ministry to do beautiful pieces that people say they want to see in the Fifth Avenue,
Right.
it is possible if you're willing to work and pursue your dreams.
Right.
And with all of the advances in health care and self care, Pilates, yoga, you can do it. And
Right.
who's to say that if your leg is not at 6 o'clock, that you aren't bringing beautiful work? Who's to say if you aren't stick thin that you can't bring beautiful work?
Right.
I have seen it all around this country. Everybody can bring something beautiful.
Exactly.
And I used to say, if you want to do it and you're dedicated, I can bring you there. I
Right.
just feel like it's just a gift that I can give to others to bring you there.
Right. Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you. I didn't read my card, but I'm gonna read it now because I think this is a great like. This card needed to
What is
wait
this
for a
card?
minute. I will read. You got to answer this question, Bad. Yeah. The question is: if I knew I couldn't fail in my professional life, I try to. I'm gonna read it one more
Whoa.
time. If I knew I could not fail in my professional life, I would try to. See, this is a
Oh
good
my
question
God.
for you.
If I knew I couldn't prevail in my professional life, I would be dancing with Alvin Ailey. Thank you.
Say that. Okay. See. Look, folks.
Lines contemporary with Desmond.
See. I love this. 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 We're almost out of time. Okay, we're taking out
No.
time, but we're gonna go a little bit longer. Um, because we didn't talk about what's happening now. Again, I just think it's so important for people to listen to what you can do, that you are not stuck in what you think you are stuck in, that you can move forward. I'm not gonna say move forward. You can move in a different direction. At this point in
Yeah.
time in the pandemic, um, people have not been to work. Some folks are redefining their life and what it means. Nothing is a guarantee at this point in time. So for those folks that are listening, nothing is a guarantee. What you thought the world was going to be, the world is not that anymore. What are you working on now? Well,
Gosh.
let's talk about We Dance with Grace. Let's start there. Let me be
Yeah,
more
that's where I'm going
specific.
to start. So, that's a perfect segue into We Dance with Grace because um, what I realize, I feel like right now there's a gap. We talk about closing gaps. Well, right now
Mhm.
there is a space that's not filled for Black women who want to dance and know that dance is not just about the dance and movement.
Right.
It's about empowerment. It's about community. It's about so much more. But there's a space that's not filled for dancers who want to expand what they can do in dance. I call it Ailey-esque because in Alvin Ailey, they master all forms,
Right.
all forms. That's right. You can do and just because it's ballet, if it's ballet, you have technique, but then there's a technique to African. There's a technique to hip hop. There's a
Yeah.
technique to all forms. And so there are people who actually are interested in modern and ballet to round out the things that they do. And there's
Right.
not a space because a lot of people have experience. Like I said, I experienced too, but I had to push through going to classes and not feeling like that's where they belong. And
Exactly.
so Dance with Grace is something that I want to do to pull in and build that community
Hmm.
of dancers who come in and who have a space to develop and grow in your dance.
Right.
And underneath that, what I'm actually working on now, in addition to Dance with Grace, I will start probably in July. I'm working on getting a Smart Ventures grant, which
Okay.
I was talking about this before the pandemic, that will focus on providing classes for reasonable free fees or free of charge according to how much support we get from the city of technique classes for adults. We
Yeah.
focus in on Black women or Black people, really, not just women. Not saying that it's closed to everyone, but we want to really provide that outlet. Yeah.
I
So
just
I'm
want to
working
say,
with dance. Go
I just want
ahead.
to say with that, what if you're not in the dance world, what you don't understand, and those that are in the dance world is that sometimes you go into the body that you have. You can be black, you can be fat, you can be woman, you can be man, you can be all these things, and you don't feel comfortable in the class. Either the students are not making you comfortable, or the instructor is not making you comfortable, or a combination of both. And so I think when we have classes in designated spaces for Black folks or folks of whatever you want to, it is never about separating yourselves out, but how can you get into a space where you can feel comfortable and supported in a way that you can in all these other spaces that they don't even realize, unfortunately, that they are making the space uncomfortable for you. So
Yeah.
we have to create our own spaces. So I always applaud that when folks say do that. And yeah, you can come in, but then you need to know how to come into a black space. Like I think black folks, we know how to come into white spaces because that's all around.
We do.
So, okay, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to sit in that moment for a minute that it's important to have all women spaces, all black spaces, all queer spaces, all male spaces. Like it's actually important to work out your own
That's
stuff.
where you're fed. That's where you're fed. I mean,
Yeah.
realistically, I had to go out into spaces like that in other states to build my confidence, to
Yes.
see beautiful brown dancers, to go to the Catherine Dunham workshop. We're doing all forms of techniques, and I see all shapes, sizes, shades, and colors. Just amazing. I want to see that here. I don't see it.
It's a different form of support. It is a completely different form of support that people will not understand unless you're in that space. But so, classes for adults. What else?
Yeah, and not just for adults. We'll have some for kids, but that is definitely a big one. And then right now, I'm also launching my dance company, Perspectives Through Movement. Yes, finally. And that name has been with me since 2008.
Awesome.
Yeah, I saw somebody write the vision and make it plain.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's what we're doing. So I'll be launching that. So definitely look out for that. And underneath Perspectives Through Movement, I will be producing excerpts from the soul of a woman with support from For Culture, with grant support from For Culture, Artist Trust, and Jack Straw Cultural Center. And that was planned for November, but due to COVID, we're going to take our time. We're going to move it out, and we're going to develop the pieces. And the other thing, try not to do three things at once. Why as artists we always want to do a million things at one time? Why is that, Danny?
Because we ain't got no sense.
So the other thing that I definitely want you to look out for is a fundraiser, an arts fundraiser. We're in the early stages. Of course, I'm not a big corporation, but one of the things that I believe in is doing something for the community. Right. And my first full-length show was a benefit for victims of Hurricane Katrina. Mm-hmm. I started out doing something, developing a music, dance, spoken word, full-length show to benefit a famine in Africa, actually. Mm-hmm. And I was reaching out to World Vision. Then Katrina happened and it hit so close to home and I felt compelled. Right. And so we did a full-length show. We raised money, and we also, that money benefited people who were relocated up here to Seattle, okay, as well as people down south in Biloxi, Louisiana, in Mississippi and Louisiana. So when COVID started, I felt like, what is it that I can do? Because honestly, I don't have to, I'm in a secure place financially. I'm in a secure place. And I want to help others and extend that blessing into our communities. So I started to work on, look at what can we do and what can we do with our art, right, to raise funds for people who have been affected with COVID. So I'm working on that with a friend of mine who is the director of Jerboa Dance. Okay. And we've been friends since back when we worked at Microsoft. And so look out for announcements. I know, Danny, you will be helping us as well as we go.
Danny ain't got no money.
Yeah,
Danny ain't got nothing. No, I'm joking. No, I will be helping out as curator. Yes.
And so we're gonna bring the art online. We're looking at ways that we can do it in the most professional manner, so that we can use our art to uplift the community,
Yes.
to pay artists who can perform in it, to maybe we can even bring back work that was so meaningful. You know, Alvin Ailey don't throw away Revelations,
Right.
right? You have good work, you bring it back because sometimes it's work for the time, it's timeless, and you need it. So we're going to bring those things back and use it to raise money.
Awesome.
And just yesterday, it's today Saturday, it was Friday, we were talking, and with everything that's going on, that platform has to be extended to the racial injustices that are
Very much.
going on.
Very much so.
So within the next probably 3 to 4 weeks, I'll be putting information out on Instagram and out on my website. And I tell you, this social media thing is kind of new for me, to be honest.
We've been
So,
talking, Vanya. We've been
yeah,
talking.
so I have Instagram now, and I have about, maybe 6 or 7 posts. So check in every once in a while. We'll be sharing a lot more. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited that I have this opportunity to share, and that I have this opportunity to continue on this journey in the arts with my family.
Right.
And I've built a repertoire of work through spiritual works that really don't apply just to spiritual works. It applies to life. And that's where, with perspectives through movement, it's not just my perspective, it's all
Mm-hmm.
perspectives. It's a collective, and it's the perspective coming through music, dance, spoken word, but edifying your mind, your body, your soul, and spirit. So that's why I say multidimensional. A multidimensional artist is what I
Awesome.
am.
Yay. Um, that's it, everybody. We are at the end. I try not to take too many people's time. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. I normally
Thank
don't read a bunch of
you so
comments.
much.
Um, Vanya, it's a pleasure to see you finally. We've been on the phone,
Yes.
but good to see you. The super last question. You are welcome. You are welcome, folks. What
You're welcome. Thank you.
what in this moment is your joy?
I knew you were going to ask me. I've been thinking about it.
Everyone knows.
And
Everyone
so, crazy,
starts to know I answer that
I
question.
can't answer a question with one thing. You know
Yes.
that, right? You know
Yes.
that. Gosh, what comes to mind first is feeling free to dance again,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but also feeling free to express my art along with my beautiful family,
Hmm.
and just the joy of finding that balance that I'm
Right.
looking for, so that I can feed myself, feed my community, feed my family. When I say feed, y'all know what I mean. You
Yes.
know, yeah, to really engage in a deep way in all of that. That's my hope, my dream, my joy, and is to continue sharing my art.
Awesome. Thank you. Everybody, thank you so much. To find out more about what Vanya is doing, you can contact Vanya on her website, vanyacbynum.com.
Yes, yes.
You can also connect through our Facebook page, our Instagram. Vanya got an Instagram page. Connect to it. To find out more, to support her work, to find out more about the fundraiser, the dance company, the classes.
We Dance with
Um,
Grace. Join We
we dance
Dance
with
with
Grace
Grace on
on
Facebook.
Facebook. Yes, we dance with Grace on Facebook. Next week we have Christy Brown, Chef Christy Brown, Whoop, 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 whoop.
All right, all
So
right.
that Brown Girl Cooks will be our guest next week, next Saturday.
Ooh.
Yes, yes, yes. Look for more things happening with CD Foreman artists around. That's it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
Census, fill out your census. Hey, census. If you haven't done that, we should be doing our census right now. Black folks, keep yourself safe. Do something that you absolutely enjoy today. Try to stay off of social media for a little bit to give your mind some breaks. If you are
Self-care.
non-black, yes, self-love. If you are a non-black person, and you want to know what to do, start reading some books and talk to your people. Don't talk to black folks. Give black folks a moment. Talk to your people about what y'all can do to make the world better. That is it. Vania, say hello to your children, your husband. And we will talk to you all later. Have a great day.
Thank you
Bye,
so much.
everybody.
I
You're
love
welcome.
you.
I love you.
Thank you.
Oh, bye. Bye, everybody.
Peace.